Hi, I am Kimmy with On William Street, and we are here to help you become a more confident quilter, from the quilting to the piecing and everything in between. This week, we are going to talk about some quilting ideas you can use for our foundation paper piece block. So this block definitely has a lot of triangles. That's really what it's made up of, is all triangles. So I'm going to show you some different triangle motifs you can use. I really like to use straight lines in my triangles. They make a lot of fun shapes and echoes. There's also some different outlining and things. So let's go ahead and go over some of the different motifs, quilting motifs and ideas that I have. So for this first design, what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just kind of echo in from corner to corner inside all of the center triangles. And then what I would do is I would go around the whole motif with all of the outer ones, and then I would go around inside, and that's going to allow you to do some continuous line. You're not going to worry about stopping or moving. It's going to help you move around the entire shape really nicely with your quilting. After I have that done, I'm going to go out to the outside ones, and I'm just going to put some straight lines pointing in towards that center motif. So that's really going to make it seem like it's connected, and draw your eye towards that center octagon shape with the quilting. Now that those are finished, I'm going to look at the green ones, and I'm just going to copy the same thing. I liked the idea of having it kind of fit all the way around as I got those lines in the white areas. So I'm going to go ahead and put them in the green triangles as well. And then for the outside dark green ones, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to echo around the white and kind of frame it. And this is going to really make what I do in the quilting stand out and kind of create a nice negative space for your eye to rest on throughout the quilting. And then after we have those lines in, we just need to come up with a fill. And I'm going to go ahead and put some pebbles in, and I'm just going to fill in all the extra space in just the green. I'm going to go ahead and leave the white blank, let that kind of act as the background around the shape, and fill in all of the dark green areas with some pebbles. For this next motif, I'm going to combine the yellow and the white diamonds into one shape so that I can fill those in with a nice feather. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw on my spine and then just go back and forth and put the feather shape down each of those diamond areas. You could do this in a triangle as well, but I like the diamond shape. I feel like it really fits the feather nicely. Then, after I have done the feathers, I'm going to go ahead in the dark green diamonds, and I'm just going to put some straight lines. And this is a real nice contrast between the curves of the feathers, and the straight lines provides really some interest with those varying designs. Also adds a nice frame to those feathers as well. After that's finished, looking at the inside triangles, I'm going to go ahead and echo around the shape a couple of times. These are some of these straight line designs that I really like using with triangles. And you can do as many echoes as you want, whether you want it densely quilted or not as dense. Then in the outside dark light green ones, I decided to go ahead and do kind of a pseudo feather as well in those. It's not going to have a spine. I'm just going to do a nice big center petal and then fill in around it to fill in the shape of the triangle and just kind of bring it back to and match the inside feathers as well. Now for this design, I'm going to make all of the inside area be one. I'm not going to worry about the lines in those octagon, and I'm just going to accentuate that center shape. Then I'm going to put another echo in there, and I'm going to leave that blank. That's going to be kind of my border line. I like to add channels. And then I'm going to come in a little bit farther, and I'm going to add another row, and this gives me a nice border that I can easily fill in. You can do lots of different things here. I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with some pebbles, but you could also do ribbon candies, you could do wishbones, you could do a feather, whatever kind of borders you like. You've now created a border that's easy to fill in. So I've got my string of pearls or large pebbles here. When this is done, I do have that center area. It's a little bit bigger than I want to leave blank, so I'm going to fill it in. I'm actually just going to go ahead and repeat those pebbles, but instead of doing it in a string, I'm just going to do a fill. So I would make sure that those were smaller to vary the scale of those two quilting motifs a little bit. And you don't have to worry about them blending together because of that nice empty channel that you've got. They're really going to stand apart from each other. Now we're going to go out to the outer diamonds, and I'm going to go ahead and just echo all of the light green areas. And then fill in with some straight lines. Again, I'd really like to vary and put lots of straight with some curves to add contrast and interest to the finished design. After those are done, I'm going out to the outside shape again, and I'm going to go ahead and just echo around the outside shape and create another octagon. And as you can see, I'm actually going behind the points so that it looks like a background shape behind the star shape in the center. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the channel, just to make sure that it really stands out. If you just have the one line, it might get lost, and I want to make sure that it's obvious. This also really accentuates the behind the points as well. Then I'm going to come in, and I do need to fill something with those whites, and I kind of thought about what I wanted to do there. And I'm going to do the same echo, but I'm going to do a different fill. I'm going to put in some swirls, just so that they stand out from each other and they don't look like the same element. And then in the outside area, all that background space I created, I'm going to go ahead and just repeat the pebbles from the inside of the block and bring it all together. And this I'm just going to go over the dark green and the white line, separation between those two shapes, so it reads as one. So now we're going to go to the full quilting motif design, and this one I really love the way that these shapes interact and they create a circle. You can see the circle shape that I'm pulling out, and I really, for this first design, I really wanted to accentuate that and make that be a focal point. You could do all sorts of different quilting ideas inside of the triangles to match this kind of background shape. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in circles, an outside circle to kind of define those areas. And then after I get those outside circle in, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to put more circles inside each. So I would just evenly space these 1/2 inch or 1 inch apart, however far you want. And then just put concentric circles all the way in to fill in that shape and really make that circle be a very prominent feature in the finished design. And I am doing this behind the triangles, so those triangles can be quilted to fit in with the block design. They're not part of the background. They would definitely sit on top of those circles that I'm making. Just a couple more here so you can see what the overall design would look like. All right, we have one more design. On this one, I'm going to go ahead and pull out this diamond that I see in between the blocks. The dark green shapes kind of really frame this diamond shape out. So first I'm going to outline that to make those elements stand out. Then after I get all of those outlined, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to connect them just with some straight lines to put some borders behind. And this is going to really act like a nice frame. And again, for this one, I went ahead and did behind the diamonds, so that it really puts a frame, makes it look like it's a background element and that the blocks are sitting on top of what I'm quilting. If you don't want to worry about going around that diamond, you definitely could do the same design and just make it fit inside of those points and not have to worry about going behind all of those light green diamonds. Then in the background diamonds, those dark light green triangles are not diamonds. So in the background diamonds, I'm going to go ahead and just put a border. And I like to just connect the corners when I'm going inside and echoing in a square like that, because it makes it so that it's very easy to move around. I don't have to worry about breaking thread. Then inside, I'm going to put a little looped flower motif with the 8 different sides. So you just start in the middle, make it long to touch each of the corners, and then just go back in and fill in between each one with one more nice little loop. It just creates a fun little medallion shape. Then to fill in the borders, the connecting areas, I'm going to put an extra echo and then just do some wishbones inside of those, and then just probably some small pebbles or something in the white areas next to that to act as a background behind that center star. It's hard to see, but those really would be pebbles, not just little squiggly lines. So you can head to the blog post and you get a blank copy of this block so that you can sketch and doodle directly on it. I find that's the easiest way for me to kind of plan out my ideas and see them all together. So go ahead and take advantage of that. And if you have any questions, you can let us know. Either leave a comment here or you can shoot us an email. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to the bell. As we hinted, we have another quilt along coming for next year. So just because this year is over, the fun is not done. So don't forget to check back and see what we've got planned for next year. Also, if you subscribe to our email newsletter, you're going to go ahead and get information on that and your materials list and things that you're going to need for that project. So if you want to make sure to be in the know, you'll want to head over to our website and subscribe to our email list. And we will see you soon.